It was close to midnight. The street was empty, streetlights glowing golden, like honey. The air was a little damp, but not cold. You know that feeling when a shiver runs over your skin, not from the cold, but from something else entirely. I was walking slowly, in heels, because I loved that sound, the way it echoes in silence like someone's listening. Maybe someone was. I had just left my friend's place. We had a few drinks, talked about, well, men, of course. And now I was standing alone, phone in hand, ordering a taxi. When it arrived, my mouth went a little dry. A black sedan, glistening slightly from the rain. Inside it was dark, but I could see right away the driver wasn't young, and definitely not a boy. I stepped closer, brushed my hair back, and only then opened the door. I knew exactly how it looked from the outside. Skirt above the knee, jacket left open. As I got in, the hem of my skirt rode up a little. I could feel it against the seat fabric under my thigh, but I didn't fix it. The car was warm inside, warm, and it smelled a little like wood? Maybe leather from his jacket, or maybe his skin. "Good evening," I said, making my voice just a bit softer. He didn't answer right away. He looked into the mirror first. His eyes were dark, calm, but something lingered in them. "Where to?" he asked, his voice low, a little rough. I love that kind of voice. I gave him the address and slowly, very slowly, buckled my seatbelt. You know that feeling when you catch a moment and stretch it just a little longer? That's what I did. He looked again. I saw it in the mirror, and I bit my lip. Not on purpose, it just happened. "Comfortable?" he asked. "So far, yes," I smiled, and that's when I realized this ride was definitely not going to be ordinary. The car moved smoothly, almost no bumps, as if the asphalt was laying itself out beneath the wheels. Outside the window, shop fronts drifted by, the occasional passerby. Glass bus stops wet from the rain. Inside, it was almost too quiet. Just the hum of the engine and soft, very gentle music, instrumental, with the faintest hint of vibrato. I leaned back, let myself relax. And then I noticed he was watching again. Not blatantly, no, just the mirror had shifted slightly. I didn't look away. I even lifted my chin a little. His hand rested on the gear shift. Long fingers, steady, calm. The kind of hands that never rush. I caught myself imagining what those fingers would feel like if they... Not now, I thought. But the thought made everything inside me feel warmer. Then, suddenly, he spoke. "You have a very beautiful ring." I looked down, just a simple, thin band, really, but he noticed. "Thank you," I replied. "Everything suits you." And in that everything, there was more than just the ring. I felt the skin on my chest grow sensitive. My jacket was open. My breath grew deeper, slower. I placed my hand on my thigh, felt the tension in my muscles. I didn't know what he was thinking, but I knew if he looked again, I wouldn't look away. And maybe I'd even smile. We kept driving. The city seemed to melt away, growing darker, softer, deeper. Inside the car, warmth, quiet, almost intimate. I noticed my breathing. It had slowed, deepened, as if my body had decided on its own, slow down, remember this, live this. I looked out the window. Raindrops were sliding down the glass, slowly, lazily, and one of them seemed to trace the shape of my thigh. I bit my lip again, but this time on purpose. "Do you often ride this late?" he asked suddenly. His voice swept through me like a warm breeze. "Sometimes," I replied, watching the reflection of his eyes. "On nights like this, I don't want to be alone." He didn't smile, but the corner of his mouth twitched. "And you? Do you often give rides to girls like me?" He looked into the mirror. For a long moment, I didn't look away. Girls like you don't come around often. I felt my back press into the seat, as if his words weren't just sound, but touch. Silence returned between us, but this silence, it held everything. My breathing, his gaze, the way his fingers moved on the wheel, the way I shifted my leg casually, but knowing he saw. The street glowed under sparse streetlights. The light ran over my legs, over my neck, over the curve of my chest. I could feel it, even with my eyes closed. And at some point, just sitting there became difficult. I wanted him to say something more, or make a move, or pull over, but he just kept driving, calm, steady, and somehow that made it even stronger. He stopped in front of my building. The car came to a gentle halt, as if it didn't want to interrupt what was between us. For a few seconds, we just sat there, in silence. Outside, the night, the entrance, a staircase leading up, but inside, it was heat. I looked at him through the mirror. His eyes were facing forward, but he felt me watching. I unbuckled my seatbelt slowly and didn't rush to open the door. Suddenly, he stepped out first, walked around the car, and opened the door from the outside. I turned my head. Our eyes met. And for a second, the world shrank to just that one moment. His hand moved slightly forward, not touching, just letting me know if I stepped out, he was there. I lifted my eyes to his. His gaze slid over me, my legs, my thighs, my chest, my neck. He saw everything, but he didn't touch. I stayed seated, my feet on the mat, knees together, fingers resting on my thigh. I didn't want him to close the door. I wanted, "Thank you for the ride," I whispered. He didn't answer, just nodded. I rose slowly. Our shoulders almost touched, and for just a moment, I lingered beside him. I could hear his breathing. Mine was already uneven. I walked away, but only physically. Everything else stayed there, in his car. And I knew if he had asked me to stay, I wouldn't have said no.